I'm Amy.
I'm Laura.
And we are
Two Paper Girls. You can probably tell from our thumbnail we're going to show you our quite pitiful February wrap-up where we didn't read a fat lot, but we're going to go through it anyway.
The first book that we both finished in February for our D.H. Lawrence module is Sons and Lovers, which is his first proper novel, when he talks about cool social realism stuff and the guys in the mines and the women are stuck in loveless marriages, and it was actually really enjoyable. I would give it about 4 stars.
Yeah, I would also give it 4 stars. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. It did dip at times because it was nearly 500 pages, but overall I just think it was a really well written book, and I feel like I understood all the characters' feelings and motives, which is always nice when it's such a complex character driven novel. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it and I was very pleasantly surprised. And the next thing I read this month, which was the only other thing I actually finished this month, which is a bit disappointing because as always I had high hopes. And we are filming this a little bit early and I might actually finish another book that I'll talk about in a sec. But anyway, yes, I finished City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare, book 5 in the Mortal Instruments series. I finally read this thing. I remember Amy reading this 4 years ago and Robin reading this about 4 years ago and saying it was really good, and I finally got around to it. I'm very proud of myself. I'm so far doing well on my New Year's resolution to catch up on the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices series. I thought this was super enjoyable. It took me a month to read, but that's mainly because I was always feeling like I had to read uni books. It felt guilty to read this because I was always I should be reading D.H. Lawrence. But I managed to just kind of plod along and read a little bit at night, and then when it got really excited, I just read it all weekend. The past weekend just gone because I couldn't put it down. So many exciting things happened. I love all these characters. Clary and Jace even grew on me a little bit in this one, which is nice. And I was just scared for all of them at so many different points. There was lots of stressful moments. And the ending was really good, and I'm just really excited to pick up the last book and finally finish this series because I just really love this world and all these characters to death. Oh, and I gave it 5 stars. It was kind of a 4.5, but I'm just going to call it a 5 because I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
And that was my wrap up for February. I read one book and that was Sons and Lovers, but I've also started, and about the same point as Laura, as the book that she's just going to show you, spoilers, in a second, but also the fun book that I picked up is Silver Stars by Michael Grant, which is the second book in his Frontline series. I think it's going to be a 6-book series, which I want to put this on my top 5 betrayed, because I'm just Michael Grant, no, you've got one awesome 6-book series with the Gone series. You don't need to make this in such a long series, but then also it's World War II, so it's a really long time to cover in a trilogy. So I'm thinking maybe it's not a terrible decision, but also the main characters, there's only 3 of them, and it alternates perspective, and it's a really long time just to have 3 perspectives. But also I'm really enjoying it. It dips a little bit in the middle for me. Michael Grant always starts his books amazing, ends them awesomely, but then the middle bit kind of dips me a little bit because it's just they're going into battle, and then there's just little trivial arguments between the 2 girls that are actually on the front lines, and one of the actual storylines with the intelligence girl, I think her name's Rainey, just doesn't interest me at all because it's to do with gangsters and mobsters and I just don't care. But generally this book I really enjoy, and I love Michael Grant's writing, so about now it's getting 3.5 stars, but I'm only about halfway through, so we'll have to see how it goes.
And the other book we've been reading this month, which has been the reason that we haven't really finished very much, because that is another D.H. Lawrence book that is another 480 pages long. He writes long book, and they're very easy to read, but it's tiny fun and it just takes a long time. And we're both listening to the audiobook to get through this, and the narrator is absolutely awful. The sound's all crackly and she just has no emotion in her voice, and she's so irritating, but it's just the quickest way to get through this. So yeah, this is The Rainbow, which so far we're not enjoying as much as Sons and Lovers.
It's awful.
It's just really bad. It's about these 3 generations of this family, but then it things happen too quickly for you to really care about them. Things have happened, but you just kind of nah. And then it's moving on. I'm 310 pages in, so it's now shifting focus onto the daughter of other people. And she's now going to be the main focus for the other 160 pages. But, I don't know, not a lot has happened, but then a lot has happened, but I'm just not really enjoying this one.
It's rubbish. I think it's bad because it just keeps saying things like in Sons and Lovers it will demonstrate to you what the characters are feeling. In The Rainbow it will be like, oh, he felt so bad but he didn't understand why, he was obliterated, he obliterated her. It's like, it's just so over the top. It's like reading 50 Shades but not as saucy. It's just rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And the next book that we're reading is an actual sequel to it. So I'm not looking forward to it. But also I'm not probably writing on this one for my coursework because it fits really well in my coursework question. It's just not very good to read, really.
After finishing City of Lost Souls, I found it really difficult to pick this back up. I was so tempted to just DNF it and move on to the next D.H. Lawrence book and just like decide to give this one a miss. But I've already dedicated so much time into getting like halfway through. I thought, well, all that time's just wasted if I don't finish it. So we are going to finish this soon, probably actually by the end of February because we're having to film this a few days early. But yeah, it's not good.
So those were the couple of books that we read and started in February. March will be definitely better because we're slowly getting to the point now where we need to read less and research more. So hopefully we'll have more time for fun books. But also look out for our TBR when we talk about the book that we've been talking about for the last 2 months. And we shall see you on that video. Bye!